did you become a rock or metal fan?
I have no. It wasn't like I woke up one day. Hey, I'm a fan. You know, it's. I guess it also dates back to my father's record collection because he was playing LPs all the time at home. So it kind of like grew on me and through the mother's milk. He's an old school rocker. He had records with Motorhead, Thin Lizzy, Aerosmith, Black Sabbath, Sex Pistols. You know. Old stuff, a lot of Rolling Stones he has, and early 60s garage music and stuff like that. So anything on the harder rock side, you know, I picked up on.
Do you remember the first album you bought?
First album I bought from my own money was actually Stained Glass by Judas Priest. I think I bought that when I was 7 or 8 or something.
What was your first instrument?
A guitar.
What brand?
The first one, I don't know, because it was somebody who just gave it to me when I was very little. I can't remember. I've lost it. But the first one I bought was myself. When I was 15, was a BC Rich Mockingbird. When I played with Old Funeral back in the day, you know. Then I had a BC Rich. But now I have a custom-made guitar here that actually a fan and a friend from Germany built for me. But it's in Gibson shape, but it's built for me.
What wood is it? Mahogany?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I haven't tried to light it up and feel the smell of the wood.
Do you remember the first song that you learned to play?
Oh, that was Louis. The song Motorhead also. You don't sing Louis, Louis, because it's very easy. And then I learned Warhead by UK Subs. Warhead, Warhead, because that's also very easy. Those were the first 2 riffs that I learned.
First concert as a fan?
First concert as a fan, I think it was Twisted Sister '86 on the Command and Play tour.
And as a musician?
First time I played live, I remember the date, it was the 3rd of December 1988. I was 15, it was with Old Funeral. Also, Abbath.
How did you guys meet? How do you know each other?
We met in 1982. And we ended up in the same school class. So me and Abbath are both 73 models. So we were 9 at the time when we met. And the interest of music was always there, looking through my father's record collection and stuff like that. So when we were 15, we finally scraped together enough money to buy instruments. And then we started our funeral in May '88. So that was the first for us.
What was the rock and metal scene like in the late 80s in Norway?
There were a few bands. There were also Our Funeral. It was Amputation. It was a thrash band called Enter with Erik Brødeskift on drums. It was later in Immortal and Gorgoroth. Those 3 extreme metal bands, if you can call it that. And, there were a few punk bands, but in whole of Bergen, it's a city with 300,000 people, maybe 150, 200 people were into that extreme music. So it wasn't a big scene, but it was a very connected scene. Everybody knew each other, like a big family.
Around the peak of the black metal scene, you know, with the church burnings and all the scandals, did you experience any kind of negativity from the society?
Oh yeah, I remember when the churches burned down and you know, the neighbors, they knew that I played with Count Rishnak in Our Funeral, you know, like that in the window. Hello, nice to meet you too. But it was very special times, of course, and I'm glad I experienced it firsthand. It was very, very special. I guess maybe you can compare it to the early punk movement in England, like 76, 77. Norway was black metal, was very intense for a few years there. 92, 93, 94, very intense years.
Have you seen the movie Lords of Chaos?
Yes, I don't like it. There's a lot of facts wrongs there, you know. And okay, it's a Hollywood movie.
Well,
take it for what it is.
The Norwegian black metal became kind of like a number one cultural export of Norway. How do you feel about that?
Well, whatever music people like, they are entitled to like. And I think it would be also a big export article, cultural export article. Even if it wasn't for the church burning, it would just take a bit longer time, I think. Because the music there's a lot of great music there. So eventually good music gets picked up, you know. But of course, the newspapers made it happen quicker like that, but I think it would have happened anyway.
And what do you think about the scene nowadays?
Well, it's active and it's alive and well. But of course, being an old fucker, I miss the old times. But it's always great to see old classic bands. You know, they're all friends of mine. Those old fuckers and Slave or Mayhem or Dark Throne. Great guys, you know.
Many of the older bands have retired and many musicians have passed away in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
What do you think? How will this affect the metal scene and the rock scene in general?
I think there will be more tribute bands. Well, there is definitely a hole for the classic bands, because which band that started from now or 5 years back will become classic big bands? I don't know. It's when will we see a new Iron Maiden? When will we see a new Black Sabbath? Haven't seen it. New Motorhead? No, doesn't happen. So I think there is a void there. But what can it be filled with? I don't know. I don't have the answer.
What do you do beside music?
Listen to music. I'm a record collector. I spend all my money on that, and I read a lot of music biographies, books about the bands I like, and I have also a steady day job, but my employers, they are quite nice and say whenever I want to see a gig or if I want to play a show myself, I just take the day off. And that was in the deal when I got the job 12 years ago. I said, I don't want a no in your mouth if I'm going to play a gig. That's fine. So
sounds like a dream job.
Well, it pays the rent, pay for my record collection.
What about your side projects? Do you have any side projects recently active?
Yes, we just restarted The Battalion, my thrash band.
Cool.
We released 2 albums in 2007 and 10, I think, and 1 single. So we just had our first rehearsal last week in 4 years. So now everybody's been very busy there. The guitarist there also plays with Galswood, Los Killman, and now we have talked so long about it. Hey, we have to restart The Battalion. It was too good to be put on ice. So we had a first rehearsal last week again. So that's up and running. Other than that, I had a band with Bömbers from Rampur and Pete Evil from Mongol Ninja and all those other bands there. And we released 1 album called Where the Underdogs Bark, and 1 single. The band is called Studfaust. So that I did, and yeah. And Bömbers, we play a lot with Bömbers. I think this year maybe 20-25 gigs or something. So,
any plans for next year, beside Battalion?
doing the same I always did. Just continue to drop fucking dead.
Please name your 5 favorite albums of all time.
Okay. Motorhead, No Sleep, the Hammersmith is one of them. Sex Pistols, Nevermind the Bollocks. Slayer, Raining Blood. Twisted Sister, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. And I think I have to say Backstreet Girls, Boogie Till You Puke.
What's the meaning of life?
Rock and roll, happiness and love.
Okay.
That's
Any
good enough for me.
Any last words to your fans?
Last words. I hope they haven't come yet. Rock and roll and be free. All right?
Thank you for the interview.
Thank you for your time.